Hello and welcome along to my channel. My name's Suzanne and I grow cut flowers as a side hustle in Devon in the UK. And this week we're going to go for a tour of the cut flower patch in mid-June. I try and do a tour once a month so you can see how things are coming along. It's been a drizzly sort of morning, so things are looking a bit wet and squished. But come with me now and take a look at what's going on in the cut flower patch. Do you remember those seedlings I took out of my car? Well, here they are. They've grown on quite well for seedlings that started in the carpet of the car. Got some of those golden spectre dahlias in the centre of each of these pots, so they'll probably need staking. I'm not sure which order my videos are going to come out in, but you'll see the addition of extra fencing along the front here. That's because Peter's been, I don't know, turning me into the character of Mr. McGregor. But there's more on that in another video. I'm not sure, you may have already seen that video. You may not. It's a bit of a damp morning. I came out on slug patrol this morning and it was drizzly. This sweet pea here is in need of a bit of extra support. Okay, where should we start? I think we'll go along the back here first. So my dianthus is nearly all over now. It's done really well. This lily, I'm not really sure how it ever got in here, but it stayed. And I've never cut it, it just stays in that bed. This, I love this. This isn't quite out enough to cut, but it actually is a really good cut flower. So I leave it in there. Sometimes I mistake the babies as foxgloves. These are my China asters. That's where my ranunculus were. I haven't taken my anemones up yet. My raspberries, I think I did see that one can be for the birds, but I have seen the odd raspberries coming out now. Really need to get rid of this tree that's just sort of sprouting, and a few odd nettles. Oh yeah, there's quite a few raspberries coming down here. And then this is the yellow lupin. Yeah, and I'm really keen on lupins now. I've cut from this more than I ever imagined I would. It's a much paler yellow than I thought, and it's actually quite nice. But in my biennial and perennial seed sowing video, which is also, you may have seen it, you may have not. I'm really not sure what order all these videos are coming out in, but I've got some more lupin seeds to sow. This is my white valerian. I've got some lovely little seedlings of some of the red valerian coming on. Look at the willow. Gosh, it grows so quickly. Auroch coming along nicely. Oh, the last of my Greek cress. I never sow enough. It's so good, everyone. I cannot tell you how good this stuff is. I think I've got some dried that I'm going to try and get some seeds from and try and have one more go. A few plants that have been eaten by Peter, and then some more gilia. This is my third succession of Phacelia. I think I might actually do away with the first succession now so that I can plant some of my perennials out. This is the middle succession of sunflowers. This was a beautiful patch of dill, but this was Peter's favourite. You can see he's just nibbled all the tops off. So whether or not that will have enough leaf on it to recover, I don't know. Gadisha here. I don't know if I should have pinched it or not. I've pinched it and it's made it almost like a carpet, which is good for weeds, but now I wonder if I'll get long enough stems. It was my first year growing it, so I wasn't really sure of the protocol. Not only that, if you look back at my last video, it looked dreadful. So I pinched it to cheer it up, and clearly that did work. Some of my grasses, Peter took a fancy too. And isn't that funny? Because I don't mean to be rude, Peter, but there's grass everywhere, yet you have to come in here and eat grass. But anywho, I think that will be fine. I mean, that's still got plenty of green to recover. It just means he's done me a Chelsea chop it'll take a bit longer. So he came along here and had a nibble on all of these. And then my roses are just, they're not looking great this year. They're a bit black spotty. I need to do a big deadhead and give everything a feed and just get a bit more airflow and ventilation going on in here. Bonica is getting, I don't know if she needs staking almost. She's just so heavy-headed that she's really collapsing over. This is one of my favourite grasses, which I have just started harvesting from. You can't really see because of the wet, but this is the canary grass. And I really liked this one last year. I had it in a mix, so I bought it individually this year. And yeah, that's really, really good. So yeah, roses down here. Oh, a bit more weeding to do. Oh, this is one of my least favourite weeds, so I always try and get it in the green before it flowers. But you know, it still seems to manage to come up everywhere. Yeah, definitely. Oh, look at that slug. He's eating a weed though, so that's fine. We'll leave him. Okay, what have we got here? So here we've got my, unfortunately, I wanted these to not flop over, but my staking's too high, I think. These are my drumstick scabious, but I mean, look at this one. Yeah, I wonder if I might even put some individual stakes there and just tie them up like sunflowers. This is the Everlastings. I've not grown it before. It's very status-like, isn't it? When you look at the foliage on it. So I've not grown that before, but I'm hoping that'll be nice. And again, I mean, maybe I should have pinched these, but they're just, these are the Helictrum, but they're just all really flopped over. So I think perhaps when I cut those stems off and they start branching lower down, they'll do a bit better. And then this is another type of paper daisy. This is the one that begins with Z, I think. And there's something wrong with these. They've got some sort of virus or disease or something. They've started brown. And I mean, look at this one. It's almost as if a flower bud has just fallen off the top. In fact, I wonder, yeah, they've all, look what's happened. So I think I should pinch all of these back. I'll do that in a minute. Status, oh, some serious weeding needs to be done in here, because if I don't, this will really take over. I just probably will come in with my hoe and just scratch the surface. Some more status, and then a much reduced collection of straw flowers this year. I grew nearly a whole bed last year, so I wonder if this is going to be a mistake. I wonder if I should have went on and grown as many, but we'll see. I have still got some straw flowers in a box I didn't use, so I think I decided perhaps it was a bit too many. And I've got some gladioli along the tunnel there. Where can I put my coffee down? Good coffee perch. Okay, and then in here, oh, the slugs have really abused my zinnias now. I know I keep going on about it, and I know I talk about that a little bit more in the other video that you've either seen or that's coming up, so I won't talk about the slug damage in here too much, but you can see it's quite serious. There are plants here that are definitely not recovering anytime soon. I've not grown the Argyritum before. Is that how you say it? Floss flower. I've not grown it before. The stems are not terribly long. If I cut that, will they get longer? And then do you know what? I think actually the pink poker status is doing better outside. I'll show it to you in a minute. Oh, you'd watched me sow one lot of seeds here. Some of them came up, some of them didn't. So I planted some zinnia seeds in here. All the zinnia seeds came up, and then I came in this morning on Slug Patrol and I can see all the zinnia seeds have now gone. So I'm going to sow some zinnia seeds in plugs, and then when they're a bit bigger, to hopefully withstand presumably slugs, I will put them out because they are white ones for a wedding in September. So I'll get on and get that job done. Not a fan of the marigolds that I was growing this year. Again, the outside ones are doing better, but they're just, I don't really like the flower and they're really short. The Gadisha in here is not doing so well. It's taller, but the stems are thinner and not so good. And again, the Bells of Ireland looks terrible in here. It looks so much better outside. I'm probably going to pull that out and put something else in there because it just is rubbish. Dahlia cuttings struggling with slugs, but they're nearly making it. And again, these dahlias are not looking as good as the ones outside. So I'm not sure if it's, you know, too hot in here or if I'm not getting the watering level right. Growing in polytunnel, I think, is a bit of an art, and I have got to learn how to get it right, which I'm sure I will. We all learn something new every day. Okay, so that's the tunnel. Cerinthe, just my 3 plants, been really useful. My beautiful Chantilly snapdragons, I've had a couple off there. And you can see we're going to have the Lavatra very soon. My first lot of larkspur. I've got a couple of issues in this bed with a few of the Ami and a few of the larkspur. So can you see this is basically dead. And then these ones, I mean, these really need cutting. Oh dear, you can tell we've had a bit of rain. I'm going to get wet if I try and go through there. Ami in full flow now. I've been cutting from that. These are my sort of on trend Chelsea Flower Show purple poppies, but I didn't split them enough, so I'm going to have loads of really small poppy heads. But actually, in some of my dried buttonhole work, that's really useful compared to, you know, these much bigger ones. So actually, that's fine. This is the first crop of Phacelia that I think I'm going to, I mean, look at the mess in here. There's one of the self-sown calendula I've been talking about. I think I'm going to clear this whole bit and probably put my perennial Lismachia, the purple loose strife in there, because that could do with going out now, I think, really. And that I think this bed here will be perennials next year, along with those new lupins I was talking about. But can you see, this is one of the Ami that have gone, yeah, I mean, I don't know what happened. Last year when this happened to do you know what? I would say it was dry. I would say, despite the rain, I wonder if no, it would be too late, wouldn't it? So I could water and feed that. Oh, do you know what? In for a penny, in for a pound. I'll go and get my watering can in a minute and put some seaweed feed in. A bit of Greek cress that needs harvesting. And then this side, we've got my fennel, which looks pathetic this year. Not sure what's happened there. Achillea just coming. Oregano here. I'm not sure what's happened in the middle. We've had, this usually stands up really well. But yeah, it's gone a bit floppy. But you see that's just coming as well. Then in here, oh look, there's a bit of oregano escaping. If you put oregano in, guys, you've got to think of it like mint. It's a bit of a thug. So this isn't supposed to be Achillea. Here we are. This is my Echinops. There's another one. In fact, I'll just take this forget-me-not out now because I'll give him a bit more air then. And there should be 6 of those. Yeah, there's the other one. And one there. And one there. They're looking quite good. We've got buds here on the Achillea the Pearl. So that's looking good. Where did all these poppies come from? Do you know what? Poppies must be really quick growing because I've been harvesting my Astrantia. And look, this one's ready for harvest as well when they're all open like that, and that one. It's a bit wet to do it now. But where did these poppies come from? Yeah, amazing. Really quick growing. Maybe I'll put some more poppy seed in. And then a few self-sown toad flax there. This is a bit wet, so I'm not going to try and squeeze down there. my culinary thyme, my Veronica's here, just coming. There's a few more buds on that. I divided it, so that's why we've got sort of slightly smaller plants. Oh, look everyone, that's a pretty colour. That's a Babascum. This feverfew, oh yeah, what I'm going to do over the winter is the annual beds with the stock wire. When I clear those, I'm going to move the stock wire onto the perennial beds when I cut them down, and then hopefully I would have sold enough flowers this year to afford some more stock wire for the annuals, so that the perennials can be all fenced nicely as well. Staked. This is one I grew from seed because it's much fuller than the purple, and this one's something eggs, but I do like that one. I grew that one from seed. This is my the white gooseneck loosestrife, not as tall as last year, really, and it is budding up. I wonder if that's going to suddenly put on a whole load more growth. Verbena borealis there. I'm not going to walk down here because you can see we've got more oregano there, which I Chelsea chopped so that I don't have it all in one go. And then just by the cold frame there, that's the obedient plant. And then this is my Korean feather reed grass, which has not flowered yet. And then this is my Breezer media, which has nearly finished flowering, and I've harvested quite a lot from that. Another self-sown Verbena borealis there. Do you know what? That's a really good amount to have just a few odd plants like that, because I don't use loads of it, but it's useful to have. More feverfew in here, dianthus. Oh, and don't you just love the way the self-heal grows in the shade? So if you grow self-heal in the shade, you'll get really tall stems, whereas, you know, if you grow it on a lawn, it will be really, really short. Oh, here come my wonderful sedum, and I know I go on about it, but you see what I mean about the difference in the sedum and the lengths of stem and how much more usable it is, but I've never been able to find out what variety it is, but I love it. Now, these are the different feverfew. So this is the one, can you remember gold ball? Now, it's really short, so I don't know if that's something I did wrong or if the variety does just come up shorter. And then Snowball here is the same, much, much shorter to the normal feverfew here. So I wonder if they will perennialise and if they'll be better in a second year. If not, they're probably not really going to be much use to me. Feverfew, oh, do you know, it's all, I should have Chelsea chopped some because I'm going to have it all in one go now, and then I'm not going to have any. Achillea. And then these are some poor calendulas that I took out the tunnel. Didn't harden them off or anything. I just stuck them in here where the foxgloves were. So we'll see how they get on. Feel a bit guilty. And then my sweet rocket, you can just see, is all just gone to seed now. And I've ordered some more seed, but I've only ordered the white seed. This is the feverfew I like, opposed to the real daisy one. Oh, my sweet peas. I did say that I would cut myself everything's so wet, cut myself a vase of sweet peas today. So that's a job I will pop on the list. And then some more here. The cold frame is finally empty, apart from, you know, a few tools and things. And then, I really wish I had staked this. Look at this auroch. In here's my one Salvia viride plant. I haven't cut from it yet, but I will imminently. The candy tuft. You can, I mean, this has got long enough stems on it, and I've cut a little bit, but it should have been staked. And the same goes for the gilia, which, I mean, this would be beautiful in the garden. You know, you can imagine that in a container, draping that over a container. Oh, a snail. I don't have very many snails in my garden. And by the way, everyone, I'm not going to kill it because it's eating a big poppy leaf and I'm not worried about it. So more candy tuft. This was my middle succession of Phacelia, but this is the one the dog sat in and I chopped right down. And then now again, because this bed is not staked at all, you can see what a disaster cut flower growing is if you do not stake things. So this one I do need to cut right down. I think what I'm going to do is get rid of the first succession altogether, cut this succession down and see if it will come again. I've got some teeny tiny larkspur in here, which hopefully will grow on as a fourth succession. And then these are Miss Jekyll, and they're just coming. They look like there's going to be a lot of blue in there, Nigella. And then because I made such a bad job with my gold of pleasure sativum, because I let it go to seed in the pot, I have sown some in here and it is coming up. So hopefully take two will go a little bit better. Oh, this is a lovely colour as well. That is just a beautiful colour for basking for flower arranging, isn't it? I don't think I've got anything I could do. Really muted taste. Oh, that would have looked good with the vintage brown stock, but I don't know if I've got any left. Some more foxgloves here. These are white ones again, the Alba. More Achillea, more obedient plants, more Achillea the Pearl. There's a Gadesha in here that wasn't pinched, and you know, you can just see that's far more usable. So I think next year, if I grow it again, I won't pinch it. A bit more feverfew, a bit more Verbena boreaensis, and then some corn or wheat there. I'm not sure which one, but last year I grew loads of that and I couldn't get it to germinate this year, so I'm a bit gutted, because for dried, having wheat and corn is so useful. I did both last year. You can't really see very well in here because it's so wet, but in here's my phlox, so that's creme brulee. A couple of stock in there, that's an apricot stock. More phlox. I mean, this tunnel should be full of phlox very soon, hopefully. More oregano, chocolate mint, spearmint, and third succession of larkspur here. This is the, oh come on people, crown daisy, and that needs sort of sorting out because that's completely pollinated, so that I just need to cut the top off that. And then this is my very disappointing marigolds. So I don't know, I've seen people grow them in America a lot and they look lovely, but to me that's quite dirty looking and not very nice. And also look how short the stems are. And then this one that's supposed to be white, this Kilimanjaro, is a pale yellow. It's nicer, but I mean, it's just so short. I mean, to be fair, maybe if I cut that whole plant down to the ground, it'd be usable. But I'm not sure I'll grow those again. Scabious here, there's a real mix of different colours there. And a second succession of my Chantilly snapdragons and loads of self-seeded calendula in here. Now the calendula will swamp these snaps, so I really need to get those out because they are huge as well. They're liking the shelter of the snapdragons. You can see I've done a little bit of weeding here and just thrown it on the grass. And then more sweet peas. Again, I need to come do some harvesting and a bit of tying in maybe. They're sort of flopping everywhere. So here are my Alchemilla mollis, and it was Albion black pod. I was right, so that's good because this is my favourite one for drying. So I'm not going to cut these flowers anymore. I'm going to let that all go to seed because it's the pods I want now. And then this was I just sowed a little patch of Gilia here, just on the end. But look at what a little bit of rain does. Look, this is all just gone now. I probably need to come and hack that all down now. I might do that in a minute as well because some of these jobs are so quick. So I think we'll hack that down. And sorry, I get really distracted. There, my peonies are in here as well. And they could do with having a bit of ventilation now if I come and chop all this Alchemilla mollis out. And then we've got dahlias, and yeah, they're coming along. A few of them have been nibbled back continually and they're struggling. Okay, I won't kill it on camera, I'll just take them away. Yeah, you can see, I mean, some of them are obviously doing a lot better than others. And then this was the second succession of larkspur. And again, the rain has come and got those. And then we've got dorcas, my first succession of dill. This looking good, people. This was the dwarf lavatra that I bought, and I was like, oh, it's never going to be tall enough to cut, but it's plenty tall enough. And this is the blush, so this is going to be a much paler pink, so that should be good. And see what I mean about how much better and healthier my outside status looks. This is the pink poker's status. It looks so much better outside. And then first year for me growing Cyanoglossom. This is the first flowers coming now. And then more dahlias. These are dahlias I started from seed on the end here, which is why they're a lot smaller. And then more dahlias here. And again, some of them doing a lot better than that. You can see, I mean, some of them are trying to bud up now. Oh, this one doesn't look like he's going to make it. And then on the end here, we've got some apple blossom snaps. Could do doing a bit of weeding in there. It looks like I've had a few losses in there. Amaranthus, I need to come along and pinch all these out because they're all bolting and going to seed. And then these are some more of the outside floss flower. And again, I mean, they're much shorter outside, but I can't see how that's going to be useful to me. Outside bells of Ireland, looking a lot better. And then my cosmos here, that's purity. Apricotta. I think this is the only one of these I had. I think that's Dazzler. And then this looks like Snow Puff coming. And then it's a shame this poppy flopped over because it means the stems are all bent. But actually in small dried things or wreaths, I should have enough straight stem to be able to do what I want to do. Got Hypericum in there, apple mint. And then, yeah, this is my dianthus, which I'm going to come in and hack this all down now because it's just looking a bit, yeah, yucky and slimy, and it's going to get weedy. So I think I'll just, yeah, come in. And again, this wasn't staked, but I've probably got enough wire left to stake this when I chop it back, because then when these come up next year, because they will perennialise for me, this won't happen next year, hopefully. Achillea. This is my first succession of sunflowers, and this is my third succession of sunflowers. And then Rebecca, some of these are Sahara and some of them are brandy, cherry brandy. And then this is a type of, oh, do you hate it when your brain goes? Oh yeah, a type of agastache, and this is an orange one rather than, I've always grown purple before. So that'll be interesting to see what they're like. This is the yellow Achillea that I grew from seed, and I grew that for drying. Shasta daisies budding up. A scabious that self-seeded and grew over the winter. More Alba foxgloves. Honesty, and I've got another honesty just coming into flower now. And the Canterbury bells, look, they've had it now. I just need to come and have a hack in there as well. I think I'm going to have a hacking day today. There. Compost heap's a bit of a mess, but there we are. Let's do a bit of an overview. There we are. Cut flower patch. My cup of coffee is probably cold now where I left it on the post. But yeah, things are coming on nicely. Still lots to do. I'm trying to get through all my jobs in bite-sized little chunks just to make it all feel a bit more manageable. But more about that in another video. Thank you once again for joining me again this week, everyone. Thanks for coming with me on a little tour of my cut flower patch. If you did like the video, give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to follow me on my cut flower growing journey, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to contribute towards the making of the videos, then you can of course buy me a coffee, and the link for that is in the description for the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.